So they're purposely slowing down snipers so they can't get the hell away. Because the way I was using the negate siren with the Lumia Prodigal, um, I was telling folks I was getting 16 shots off, right? And the way it was working out, I could kite backwards fast enough that you could never catch me, and I could just blow you away. So now when I use that gun, I'm going to actually lose some of my speed. So my kiting won't be so effective. And then it gives guys with battle rifles and other things that have gap closing capabilities a better chance to catch me. So it's not a bad thing. So the faster the bullet moves, the harder it is to dodge. Think of guns like the Code of Fusion Constant and the Wraith and a lot of those guns. Once those guns track you and the bullet fires, you get hit by it. You don't actually, you can't dodge it. You just get hit. So the faster I make the bullet move, the less likely you can actually dodge the bullet. If I targeted you and I shot the bullet at you, you're most likely going to get shot. That's what bullet speed would mean. And the way he explains it is that's why the rocket launchers up close are easier to dodge and not get hit by, but at range they're much harder to escape, because at range you can't really dodge it. The bullet is moving too fast. But up close, I have the ability to roll out of the way and the bullet goes flying by me because it's moving so slow. That's the difference. So the only way to fight rocket launchers, it was exactly how I said to fight them before this patch, was to gap close and come and kill them in by punching them in the face with a battle rifle or a shotgun. And this holds true even in this new version that they're doing. It's the exact same way to beat them. I've actually watched it done. That's the only way I can beat them. It's the fastest way to beat a sniper rifle also. A person is using a sniper on you, you roll up close to them, Art Mandrill. Caretaker, 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 Art Mandrill. That's how you finish them. That same concept worked on rocket launchers. That's why I always said, like, there is ways to beat every one of these things. It's just, do you realize what works and what doesn't? That's all it is. And you can't say, hey, I can't hit this sniper with my shotgun because he's using volatile mines. Well, then you got to find some way around that. You got to use protection. You got to use blink. You got to use something that offsets that thing that's stopping you from being able to do that. Or if you see the volatile mines, don't run into them. Run around them. Like, you got to think of something. If not, use a different weapon. Like, I don't know what else I can tell you. You can't make it work with what you got. You don't keep using that. You use something else that's effective. What else can you do? That's why I kept saying, like, hey man, I have like 5 or 6 builds that are all varied and different, but they can win 60 to 80% of the fights that they're in if it's a 1v1. The reason is, if I can get close to a sniper rifle or a rocket launcher, I had high DPS up close. So once we're close, they're dead. That's how you beat them. That's all you got. But to say that, I can't do it or it's not working, you gotta keep playing then and figure it out. Yeah, it does. Take that, Lumia rival. Now I'm happy I don't have your ass. Yeah, the mortars. I've been hearing people asking for the mortars to be nerfed like since 0.4, 0.5. Um, because if you think about it, some of, like, especially with the avalanche is disgusting. You literally can just tear down into people and crush them. So I can see it. So, but it's part of the balance, I think, because they don't want them to have the longest range. I think what now it kind of almost makes sense. The thing with the longest range, besides a sniper rifle, is the rocket launchers, which is the most logical thing I've seen they did in this patch. Because I could never understand how rocket launchers had such low ranges. I couldn't understand how a rocket launcher had. You had a battle rifle outranging a rocket launcher. Like, that made zero sense to me. Yeah, I played it before I went into these patch notes in the beginning of the stream. And he shouts out my stream in it. Yeah, and here's another thing too. NKL, this is the first pass. After we play it, and if they're really bad, we feedback the hell out of the fact that they suck. We got to. Because if we are like the most invested players who play this game the most, and we're telling you, man, this feels horrid. This feels like garbage. This is the worst thing you've ever done. Our statements actually hold weight. That's why, like, I literally said, hey, can you make capture the flag 4 points? If you can't bring it up to 5, at least make it 4. And they're like, we heard your feedback. We went from 3. It went down from 3. We're bringing you back to 4. I'm good with that. I think that it's gonna feel much better than a 3-point tutorial like version of capture the flag. 4 points I can live with. 3 points, come on, man. That it didn't even feel like a mode. Yeah, it's good to see that they're doing it because it's funny. The number I hit for snipers, 33%, is the exact number they used. It's like it needs to either be either down to 40 or 33 to 40%, and they dropped it to 33. It's kind of the same way like the numbers I chose for what they should do to the grounding bolt. They did, except they didn't nerf the cooldown like I said. I think they should nerf the damn cooldown because the grounding bolt was freaking deadly. And I remember after they did it, I'm like, nah, it plays really well. And one guy was like, no, man, it doesn't work with it. I'm like, the only reason you can say that the grounding bolt nerfs that they did are bad is because you are like completely reliant on them. That's why. Because if you think those are bad, that means you overuse that ability and you don't know how to play anything else and you don't know how to play without it. That's just a fact. I personally found grounding bolt to be so good that I stopped playing them for a month because I was putting it in every build. That's how good the damn things were. Especially when the slow was 65 and used to last like 3 seconds and it used to do 600 damage. It was nuts. The grounding bolt was crazy. It even had a better range. The only thing that had a better range of the grounding bolt back in the day was the Lumia Rival. And the grounding bolt had the longest range in the game out of everything else. It was crazy. So, like, that's how I play. Like, certain times, like, I was just like, yo, this is so good, I am not playing it anymore. And I weed myself off playing it, and I knew how to play against it so I could beat it, but I didn't play it personally because I was just like, man, it's in every build. I use it in everything. It's too freaking good. And I stopped playing it. Oh, hell yeah, man. Like, I'm telling you, here's what's so funny about this game. They can take every effect and abilities that are in MOBAs and then rework them back in as either abilities, trinkets, or weapons. Every single one. So everything that you know from Vainglory can eventually find its way back into this game as a trinket, a weapon, or an ability. Fact. That's what's so cool about it. And that's what makes this game kind of neat, is because by by taking those 4 items, 3 to 4 items, and mixing them together, you can kind of create MOBA characters. You can. They play similarly. They have the abilities of characters. Freaking Temporal Rush is like a super version of freaking Riz's freaking dash forward with the fire. It's also like a super version of what's her name? Oh God, I can see her. Remember the girl the girl with the fox ears, or the she looks like a Taka, and she had a sword. God, I can't remember her name. God, I don't play from Lore anymore. Yeah, it's a shooter, but yeah, it's every ability is coming in, getting there. It's getting there. Like right now, the Arrivals of Fusion gives you Scarf Pool of Fire. It's awesome. It's like boom, poof, pool of fire. And you take damage. Miho, thank you. You guys are the best. Because I couldn't remember. Yeah, like Miho's dash, like Idris, like all of these characters, you're getting their abilities. Like imagine you get a weapon or an ability called, what do you call it? Backstab, right? It shoots like a bolt, but when you tap it again, you appear behind the guy and then you open fire behind them. That's basically Anka's ability. But I just use it as, like, what do you call it? As a two-step ability. I mean, wouldn't that be awesome? I'd play that. Like awesome crap like that. That's why I'm saying eventually I hope they add melee weapons. I would love to have a blade that had like a 3 or 4 meter range, but it does crazy damage. That's why I created that on May the 4th, Star Wars Day. I created the Starlight Sword. It's basically a lightsaber, but I renamed it, and it's a sword created from taking a sunstone or a star shard and mixing it with catalyte and piping it through something, and it creates a beam of concentrated starlight energy. So it's basically a lightsaber, yeah. So it's, imagine having one of those that have like 2 quick attacks. It's a heavy, it's a primary. No, it's a heavy, and it needs charges. So, but you get 2 quick attacks, but they do crazy amounts of damage, and then from behind they do double damage. I would love that. Temporal Rush, dead, executed. Or you shoot a sniper rifle, Temporal Rush, dead. Assassin's weapon. Forget about it, man. All day, every day.